Hello guys and welcome to a new episode of the Football Show. As today we're going to talk about yesterday's last 16 final day of the last 16 games of the AFCON. Also we're going to talk about today's Premier League games, as also there was yesterday's Premier League game as well to catch on. But let's start with the AFCON, which was yesterday's games. Ivory Coast against Burkina Faso. Ivory Coast won 3-0. A very comfortable, thrilling, deserved victory, whatever you like to call it, on Ivory Coast's victory. Goals from Diallo, Diamonede and Bazumuna Torre. You know, Ivory Coast were in control for the whole game. For the whole game they were in control in terms of possession, in terms of chances. They could have scored more if they wanted to. They just killed straight away Burkina Faso. The first 30-35 minutes didn't even give them a chance to think like, oh, we could get at Ivory Coast here. But Ivory Coast were very clinical and ruthless in the first half, and I thought they were very, very good in the first half, and they killed Burkina Faso in the first half, in my opinion. So yeah, very good performance for Ivory Coast, and very, very good win. They did quite well in the group stages. In the group stages, when they finished. They finished first, I think, even though they drew with Cameroon, and they continue when they left off in the group stages by doing well also against Burkina Faso. And in the quarterfinals, they'll play against Egypt. And let's not forget, Ivory Coast have very good players, like Amad Diallo, who I think has been one of, he's probably been Ivory Coast's best player in this tournament so far. They've got great players like Kesse as well, who's experienced. He has good experience playing in Europe. So they've even got decent players on the bench, likes of Wilfred Zaha, Willy Bolly, Fofana, Seri, who I think used to play for Fulham, I think. So yeah, they've got very good players in terms of depth as well. And they're going to play against Egypt, which is going to be a very difficult game for Egypt, of course. And let's not forget, Ivory Coast are a very good team, and they are the defending champions. So, Egypt are going to have to step up their game, that's for sure, in this game, because they can't perform the way they performed against Benin. Algeria against DR Congo. Algeria beat DR Congo 1-0. That was a very good match, I would say. I mean, this was like almost 50-50 between Algeria and DR Congo. This was a very good game. Both teams had chances. I think Algeria the better team. I think they deserve to win in general, because they had the better chances, and they had good chances, and they were the better team, and they created more chances. But DR Congo were not far off. They were very good, particularly in the first half. I thought they looked quite strong. Defensively, they were quite strong. Going forward, maybe they could have been a bit more clinical, but defensively, I thought the Congo were very good. Algeria, going forward, they were creating chances. I think this game could have gone either way. It went the extra time, and it took an amazing goal for Ball Bena to decide the game. It's a game that could have gone either way. So it was a game of fine margins. And you also sometimes, when the games are close like this between Algeria and the Congo, you need to be clinical. You need to take your chances. Whereas Algeria did it, and the Congo did it. Especially, local football always, punishes you. So if you don't take your chances, and I thought both teams, I think they shut down each other. I think both defensively were quite strong. Going forward, though, I think Algeria was better than the Congo. So I think maybe Algeria deserved to win more at the end. However, the game could have gone either way. And the Congo are a very good team. They kicked, Nigeria out of stopping them from qualifying for the World Cup. So they're a very good team, and Cameroon, I think. So they're a very good team. They're Congo, and Algeria. They had chances, and yes, it was a bit nervy at times, because the Congo would do quite well, and they had chances. But I think in general, Algeria were the better team. So. And it was a great finish, amazing goal, fantastic goal from Bena. So, yeah, it was a game that is of fine margins, and it could have gone in either way. That's for sure. So, but Algeria go through. Congratulations, they go through to the quarterfinals. and they'll face against. You look at all the games in the quarter-final. You've got Mali against Senegal, you've got Cameroon against Morocco, Algeria against Nigeria, and Egypt against Ivory Coast. I mean, all of them are close games. I think except Mali against Senegal, which is a game that Senegal should win. All the other games, they are very close games. So yeah, those three games, except Mali against Senegal, are very close games. It's difficult to predict. So Cameroon and Morocco, close game. Algeria, Nigeria, close game. Egypt, Ivory Coast, close game as well. Even though Egypt haven't been at their best. So yeah, I'm really looking forward for those four big matches coming up. That's for sure. You move on to the Premier League as you've got yesterday's game, which was a battle for relegation. It was 17th versus 18th, and it was a big game for both teams between West Ham and Nottingham Forest. West Ham were leading in the first half thanks to an own goal from Murillo, but then Nottingham Forest got better in the second half and they responded with a comeback, goals from Nicholas de Winaghez, and also the winner of the penalty from Gibbs White. And yeah, very good win for Sean Dyche's side, considering they had some off results. I think before this game they lost a couple of games. They lost to City, where maybe they should have got something. They lost to Villa, they lost to Everton. So it was a very important for Nottingham Forest to bounce back, and especially to extend that lead they had towards West Ham in that relegation battle, because before the game it was, I think, like 4 points, I think, between both teams. But now Nottingham Forest win, they are now 7 points clear of West Ham. So very important win for Nottingham Forest. For West Ham, I mean, more problems continue. Though it was a game that they had to win. They were 1-0 up in the first half, even though it was an own goal. They got a bit lucky there, and then you don't defend the lead and you throw it away. So yeah, the pressure is really mounting on Espirito Santo. I know they made some signings recently, so you could say, oh, let's give time for Nuno towards those signings. But you look at the upcoming games, it doesn't get any easier at all. I think the next 9 games they've got, it involves having City, Tottenham, Chelsea, United, Liverpool. So they don't have any more easy games coming up, especially when they have to stay up, and they're 7 points behind as well. So they've got for sure a mountain to climb, and Nuno Espirito is in huge pressure. I mean, do I have sympathy for West Ham fans, considering that also they were angry, etc.? Yes, I do have sympathy, but at the same time, you have to be careful what you wish for, because since David Moyes left, and obviously we all know the fans didn't treat David Moyes well during his time at the club. And yes, the results of David Moyes towards, I think, the last 6 months was not good, but I think they finished like 8th or 9th in that season. It wasn't like dreadful. It's not great, but it's not dreadful. And also he took I think West Ham to the Europa League quarter-final in his final season, losing to Bayer Leverkusen, who were unstoppable that year. So I think like the way they treated David Moyes, and after David Moyes left, they had managers like Lopetegui struggled, Potter struggled, and now Espirito Santo struggled. They brought in managers who are good managers, who have experience in the Premier League, and all of them haven't succeeded at West Ham. So I think, yeah, you might treat David Moyes badly, you might not like the style of football, etc. But be careful what we wish for. They had a manager who brought stability, who brought success to the club. A couple of times qualifying in Europe and winning, obviously, the European trophy. And his final season, yeah, West Ham had a dreadful form in the last 5-6 months under David Moyes. But I think they finished like 8th or 9th. And they also got to the Europa League quarter-final, where they lost to the best Bayer Leverkusen team you ever see, where it was obviously when they nearly went the whole season unbeaten. So at the same time, yeah, you might feel, I feel sorry for West Ham fans. But when you look at it and say, be careful what you wish for, especially for what you treated to David Moyes. So, and his final season, like I said, wasn't that bad as some West Ham fans assume. So, yeah. And let's not also forget the owners of West Ham. Also, they're terrible owners. They don't really care. So, they've run club to the ground. Let's move on to today's games in the Premier League. Let's look at today's games, and it's overall of 8 games, which is crazy, absolutely crazy. But let's look at all of them. You've got Crystal Palace against Aston Villa. I mean, Crystal Palace have not been in the best form recently. Aston Villa are an amazing run of form. I'm actually, because it's Selhurst Park, I'm going for a 1-1 draw. Fulham against Chelsea. Callum McFarlane is gonna take charge of this game for Chelsea this again. Not Liam Residia, and Liam Residia has been appointed officially the head coach of Chelsea. Right, an appointment. Listen, good luck to him. All the best to him. I wish all the best to him, but he's a very young coach. He's inexperienced, and also, how will he handle a dressing room like Chelsea? How will he handle a dressing room like Chelsea? Because let's not forget, jumping from Strasbourg in France, with all due respect to them, to Chelsea, is it's chalk and cheese. It's completely different. So, you have to handle the media, the pressure, the expectations, the owners, the fans, the players, everything. So, and he's a very young coach as well. He doesn't have a lot of experience. And at Strasbourg, I heard he's done a good job there, etc., etc. But again, managing France, managing France compared to the Premier League is completely different. Completely different. So, and also he doesn't have a lot of experience. So how will he handle it? How will he handle a dressing room as well, like Chelsea? Because when you're stepping at a big dressing room like Chelsea, a big football club like Chelsea, from Strasbourg, you don't want to straight away show and make the players say, "Oh, this guy is out of his depth. He's weak." So how Lee Residia is gonna go about it is gonna be very interesting. But I good luck to him. I wish him all the best. But also I heard that he had problems with the owners when he was managing at Hull City as well. And we all know the owners of Chelsea, like in Bali, are very stubborn. So that's going to be another issue that Liam Residia is going to face. I mean, I know there's not many big coaches out there, but for Chelsea to give Liam Residia a 6-year, 7-year contract, I mean that is the consequence of the level of stupidity that those Chelsea owners have shown it in 2020 since 2022. Just giving the contract 6, 8, 9, 10 years contract for no reason. I don't understand. He's a young coach. To give him a 7, 8 year contract is ridiculous. I think it's until 2032. Sorry, so it's 6 years. I think 6 years. Sorry, to give him a contract of 6 years is laughable. So, but again, this sums up Chelsea's owners. But they've got a big game, Fulham away. Fulham are a good team. They've been a very, very, very good run of form recently, particularly at home. It's not going to be an easy game for Chelsea. I'm going for a 2-1 for Chelsea. Brentford against Sunderland. I'm going for a 2-0 win for Brentford. Bournemouth against Tottenham. I'm going for a 2-2 draw. Manchester City against Brighton. Manchester City have some defensive crisis. They've got big injuries. Obviously, Gvardiol is out for months, 2 months, 3 months. He's probably almost out for the rest of the season. Diaz is out for 4-6 weeks, and they've got some defensive crisis. Manchester City, defensive problems. Stones is not available. He's not always available. Nathan Ake, sometimes he could have injury problems as well. So the only 2 available players they have in that department, centre back, is Kozanov and Nathan Ake, which is the reason why they want to sign Mark Gui from Crystal Palace, the centre back. So I don't blame City, because they have lots of problems defensively in terms of injuries. So they need to fix that because especially there's 5 6 months to go to the season. Especially if they want to have a better chance of winning the Premier League, I think the best for them is to sign a centre back like Mangui because they have some problems defensively. So in terms of injuries as well, and in terms of conceding goals as well. Let's not forget. So yeah,